Hello and welcome to the channel. My name is Bijay and I am a Microsoft MVP. In this video, I'm going to explain you how to create Power BI report from SharePoint Online list. Also to be, these are the points which we are going to discuss how to create a Power BI report, and then we will see how we can select the required columns from the Power BI report. Not necessarily we require all the columns whatever presented in our SharePoint list. And then we will see how we can format SharePoint list lookup column, how we can change the data type, how we can rename column names, and then also we will see how we can add visualizations into the Power BI report, and specifically we will see how we can add a donut chart in this Power BI into our Power BI report. If you have not gone through the previous videos that I have created in the Power BI section, that is what is Power BI, what is Power BI desktop, how we can install Power BI desktop, and then also I explained how we can, what is the difference between Power BI free, pro and premium version. So just go through those videos. I will put the links in the comment section of this video. And before starting this, make sure that you have added this your or you have installed the Power BI desktop so that we can use that to create the reports. So I will open my Power BI desktop. So I'll just search for Power BI desktop and then click on open, and it will open my Power BI desktop from where we will load our SharePoint list and data. So before till it is loading, I will open the SharePoint site. You can see here there is a product list which is having a column as title vendor. This is a lookup column. So there is a vendor list. I will show you. So you can see here this is the vendor list which has the vendors are there, and this is the title column. And then apart from that, there is customer name, quantity, price, sales date, delivery charges, city, and location. So these are the columns basically presented in the SharePoint list. And so I will go back to my Power BI desktop. So just close it, and here this is what is the Power BI desktop looks like when you open. And here first of all we need to get the data from the SharePoint list. So there is a get data option is there. If you are using or if your data is in Excel, then you can directly click on this, but since our data in the online service, so I'll click on this get data and then click on more, and this will open a dialog box where we can see all the data sources that we can select for our Power BI report. You can see it here. I will click on online services, and if you'll see here there's an option called as SharePoint Online list. Apart from that, there are various other data sources which are supported, and if you have the requirement you can check those. But for this example I will select SharePoint Online list. I will click on continue. So when I'll click on continue, it is asking me to provide the SharePoint site URL where our SharePoint list exists. I will go here. I will copy the SharePoint site URL. You don't need to copy the list URL, but you can copy the site URL and then click on OK. Once you click on OK, since I have connected it before, so it didn't ask me about the credentials, but maybe for your case it might ask you for the credentials. And then I will select the columns, that is the tables or the list. So in this case I have product list and I have a vendor list. So these two list I will select. Make sure you select the list which you want. From this it will populate all the list from the SharePoint site that you have entered. Now if you will see here, there are two options that is asking. One is load, another is transform data. And if I will actually if you'll see this lot of on other columns are the hidden columns that we have in SharePoint. It is populating everything, so we might not require all these things. Two things you can do here: you can load it, and then again you can go to transform data here, and then you can change, or you can simply click here transform data and it will open your Power Query editor. Let me show you this option. So for example, I will click on transform data. So what will happen is it will open the Power Query editor. So you can see here it opened our Power Query editor, and we have two queries here. One is the product list, and we will make the report from the product list. So I will select from the queries product first. So now if you look at here, these are the columns. If I will scroll just a little bit, you can see here it is showing me all the columns here. But we might not need all these columns for our reporting. So what we can do here is, if you will see here in the home tab, there is choose columns is there. You can just select the first option, choose columns, and it will now populate all the columns you can see here. Simply uncheck everything just in the first checkbox. You can do that, and then you can just select the columns which we required. For example, in this case I required these columns, and I also need the vendor column, so I will only select these columns, and then I'll click on OK. So once you click on OK, now you can see here this is our or these many columns that we required. First thing is, if you'll see here, I have this is a vendor column, and this is, as I said, this is a lookup column. So I'll right click over here. Sorry, you can just click over here, and then it will select all the columns. You can just uncheck, and in this case also our column name is the title column, which contains the name of these vendors. Just click on OK. So now if you'll see here, it is populating all our columns. So this is how you can get this or the column names. And the next thing is quite important is the data type that you can change. If you'll see here, um, you can see here we can change the data type. So how we can change the data type is, by default, if you are using Excel data source, then it will convert the data type to the actual data type. For example, if this is a quantity, maybe it will put the whole number, price whole number, or the currency sales date, it will put a date field. But when you are retrieve data from SharePoint list, you might the data will be any, or the data type will be any. You can see it here. So it is showing any. And also one more thing is, when you are actually working with the number fields, that's quite important that we will change it properly, so that our report will come properly if it will be a whole number or something. So in this case, if you'll see here, title column should be a text column, and you can see here we put the text column here. Now this becomes a text column. You can also select multiple columns. For example, I will select customer name, city, and location and vendor. This all these four columns should be a text column. So I will select here and I will say text. So now if you'll see here, all four columns become a column type text. Similarly, I will select quantity, price, delivery charges. Probably these three columns I will make it to whole number. So you can see here I will take whole number. And the date column, which is quite important as well, you can select the date or date time. I will select date here. So you can see here now our data type got changed. Next thing what we can change is we can rename the column. For example, in this case, if you'll see here, there is a title column, but this is the product name we can take. So you can just select here, and you can go to the home tab, and then you can see here, um, go to the properties, and then you can change it over here. You can select this, and you can change the data type by clicking over here. Sorry, you can just right click and you can say rename. You can see here you can do that. Apart from that, I think in the transform tab, you can see here there's a rename column, if rename button. If you click on that, then it will select, and you can say product name, something like that. And here if you'll see the other one, maybe the customer name, I will put space. And similarly on the sales date, I will rename it maybe sales space date. And delivery charges, I will rename it to delivery space charges. And one more thing that we will change is the last one, which is saying vendor dot title. Instead of that, we may take vendor name. Just click on enter. Now if you'll see here, our data formatting is done, and then you can just go to the home tab, click on close and apply, and you will see here now the query changes will happen. And then we will be landing off with our report tab, where we can add the visualizations. So you can see here now we are if anytime you want to see the data, you can go to the data tab. So you can see here we are now in the report tab, where we can add the visualizations. Remember, this is the page From here we can change the page name. You can see here down here it is showing the page title. Let me just minimize a little bit. So you can see here, this is the option where we can change the page name. So I'll say rename and I will say product sales report. And then this is the visualization section where we can add our visualizations. Various visualizations are there. This donut chart is there. You can see here. I will just click on that and you can make it a little larger. You can see here. And then what we can do here is you can select the data table from where we want to get the fields. You can see here I select it and then I will select, first thing is the product name. The moment I select, you can see here it came over here, and you can also, it is coming here. Then you can just select in the values and then select the quantity. Let me just put the quantity here, and you can see here it is showing the quantity here. You can see if I'll just make it a little bigger here, you can see now we can see here how it is appearing our product names and then the quantity that has been ordered for delivery, and it is coming in different color. You can change the colors, you can change the font also. We will check that in another video. And you can save the report. You can just click over there and you can say a product. uh, I will make it to something meaningful for me. So this is basically, you can give a name for the product for the report, and this way you can save it so that next time if you are opening, you can just double click on that file and it will open in our Power BI desktop. So this is how we can create a report from our SharePoint Online list. And also we saw how we can do formatting. And if you like our videos, then subscribe to our YouTube channel. You will see a lot of videos on SharePoint, Office 365, Power BI, Power Apps, Flow, SPFX, all these technologies videos you will get. As well as you can visit our sites. So these are our websites. These are our Twitter handles, LinkedIn, Facebook, and these pages. You can like us. And also, if you are interested for the SharePoint training, you can check the comment box. There I will put a URL where you can check various training courses available in SharePoint. Thank you and have a nice day.